I offer my pranams at Swami's feet, and I know that he speaks through me. Um, so I have been in a position where I'm lucky enough that Swami himself has taken over my life, and he has been the primary goal of my life since my childhood, due to the family that I've been born into and due to the schools that I've attended. But apart from this showering of love alone would have been enough. But at every step of the journey, Swami has been the sole constant of my life, and he has shown me his own inimitable love in unique ways, and he has established himself as my best friend as well. So while I was trying to think of one particular incident, I could not get myself to. So I just thought I'll share everything that I hold crucial in my journey so far. So the first real dream, the first real recollection that I have of Swami showing his presence in my life was when I was 4 years old. I was very fascinated with Shirdi Baba in my childhood, and I remember I woke up one morning uh, with this very very vivid dream that I had. In that, so during my childhood, I think the biggest fear that I had when I was in my kindergarten was that I will my bus will come at the bus stop, and my grandfather, who generally came to pick up my sister and me, would not turn up at the bus stop. And then this was this very weird dream that very weird fear that I had, that my grandfather would not come up to pick me up at the bus stop, and I would not know where to go. So in my dream, this is exactly what happened. The bus My bus came, me and my sister were sitting in it, the teachers and everyone left. My grandfather was not there at the bus stop, and then this driver, he started taking he went on to his whole own route, and we went into the hills, and we were in the forests, and he was taking us along some route, and both me myself and my sister were crying, and I was feeling really hopeless, and I was just shuddering at the possibilities of what could happen. And then right then, Shirdi Baba came. He appeared behind me. He said, he asked me what my name was and where my address was. Now, in my kindergarten, I think that was probably the only things that I knew. I told my name is Raghav Baba and my address is B79, Sector 27, Noida. He said, put your hand on my shoulder. Uh, Both me and my sister put our hands on his shoulder, and the next minute we appeared in front of our house, in the comfortable surroundings, secure surroundings of our house. And then he told me, go ring the bell. And I rang the bell, and my grandfather's sister, who used to stay with us, she opened the door, and as soon as she opened the door, uh, Baba disappeared. This is the first real recollection and the first dream that I had of Swami. I am extremely grateful uh, that I got this chance to study in Swami's school during the last years of Swami's earthly sojourn, and those years of my childhood that was spent in Swami's primary school in Puttaparthi formed the very foundation of my life. So, just some the most palpable thing that I recall is Swami's love. So the hundreds of darshans that I had in my childhood, each and every darshan was so, the love that I felt from Swami, emanating from Swami as he looked at us and as he blessed us, and as we showed him the cards that we made as school students, as we chanted Vedas in front of him. Uh, a couple of close moments that I had with Swami was in the sports meet of my first year. I was chosen to go and give this bouquet to Swami. And as I was giving him this bouquet, I told him, Swami, please always be there with me. And he gave me this beautiful smile. In my second standard, I remember Swami had gone into the interview room, and I was praying very intensely, Swami, come out. Our teacher had told us that prayer is like this wire connection that we have to Swami. And I imagined a wire going from within me to Swami, and I was praying very hard, Swami, please come out. I want a chance to talk with you. Swami came out 15 minutes later with a basket of pens in his hands, and he called me and he gave me this pen. And whenever I try to think of Swami, I still remember that moment when he was giving me that pen, and that felt like eternity. And that is the most intense feeling of love that I've ever felt. So those years in primary school, after I finished my primary school and I came back to Delhi for my middle and high school, but those years formed the foundation of my life. And uh, I know that I will never be able to get that love in any place or anything ever again. So I am anything that happens, as I might appear to be distracted in my friends or anything here, but any difficulty in my life that arises, I go back to Swami, because uh, that love of his draws me to him. After Swami left his body and I came back, I think the real way in which Swami established himself as my guru and my master, and the lessons that he started teaching me, also through the challenges that he started placing in my life, began in my 11th standard. So it was this dream of mine that I wanted to go back and finish my schooling in Puttaparthi in my 11th and 12th standard in Swami's higher secondary school. But due to some, I was typhoid right at that point of time, and I could not. So I'd cleared the admission, but I could not join his school. So a really interesting and a challenging phase of my life began, because I had to leave my old school, join a new school, had to prove myself all over again. I was going through a rough time when it came to physical health. So I was struck with uh, typhoid, influenza maybe a dozen times, also an eye infection for which I needed steroids, all within the span of 1 year. I was given this opportunity to become the head boy in my school within 10 months of joining, and that led to uh, uh, a lot of student politics at the higher school level. So in my 12th standard, I was very stressed out mentally, and I used to pray to Swami. I used to really pray to him that Swami, I'm at this really vulnerable and lonely phase of my life right now. I really need you. And Swami would never respond. I remember I'd also shifted my bed to the mandir that is in the basement of our house. And I used to pray to him very intensely, but there was no apparent response. What happened, what the breaking point came when in my 12th standard, I was during the half yearly examinations, I was again struck with influenza. I had to miss one examination, and I said, Swami, enough is enough. Uh, I had read of devotees of Swami getting really serious results, etc. So I said, Swami, now I'm going to the mandir. I remember one night I got up, the night that I could not go for the exam. I got up feeling very frustrated in general at Swami, because he was completely refusing to show any sign of his to me. I got up, I went to the mandir, and I said, अब मैं इधर से उठूंगा नहीं जब तक आप मेरे सामने अभी प्रकट ना हो जाओ. So I started I started chanting Swami's name. Of course, that I could not go on for. I sat with the resolve that I'll sit here if I have to for 24 hours, but I could not pray for more than half an hour. But what happened within that time was I saw these series of images in my mind, me falling ill, me getting this opportunity to travel, to be a part of this new school, me getting selected for various competitions in this new school, me getting chosen for this role. And I suddenly had this strong conviction that everything that was happening in my life was beyond my own control. I was not responsible for any of it. And we always talk about, so we always read about uh, Swami's teachings of surrender, and he keeps on telling us to surrender. And we have this, we try to form a very philosophical view of surrender. But at that time, it just happened. I knew that everything was beyond my control, and I surrendered to Swami. I stopped praying for dreams. I knew that Swami is responsible for everything in my life. And then everything all the situations in school, even though the circumstances outwardly remain the same, I was very peaceful, and uh, the remaining months passed off very smoothly. Uh, and then, funny enough, Swami started coming in a lot of my dreams. So, uh, as if to validate my experience, a couple of weeks later, Swami came in my dream. I was sitting in the public. Swami was with the students. He called me like this. I came. I rushed out front, and Swami was going back after giving the darshan. He was going to go back to Yajur Mandir. I could not resist myself any longer, and I got up and I stopped him. I just said, Swami. He told me to go and sit where the mics are near the bhajans. And even though I cannot sing, Swami told me to sing this bhajan, Subramanyam, Subramanyam, Shanmukhanada Subramanyam. And as I was singing, Swami got up from his wheelchair and he told me to take Pad Namaskar. And I took Pad Namaskar. And so there is this beautiful prayer of surrender in which Swami, there is this picture of Swami who's blessing a child who's touching his feet. And when I got up, I realized that was the position that I was in. I was touching Swami's feet, and Swami was blessing my head. And that was on the first day of my second term of my last term of school, and that was Swami blessing me. Two or 3 weeks after that, I was struck with dengue once again. So as I was convalescing, Swami came in my dream once again. What happened in this dream was my tuition teacher is a Shirdi Baba Bhakt. So the setting of this dream was at her place. Swami was seated on a sofa, and he was dictating a letter to a student. And the student was acting very disinterested in writing that letter, and he was acting as if he's doing a favor to Swami by writing this letter. And I got very irritated at the student's attitude. And I told Swami ki, Swami, I'll write the letter for you. And Swami looked at me very angrily and said, no, he will write. And then I got bugged at Swami that, Swami, ek to main aapko offer kar raha hu aur fir aap mujhe mana kar rahe ho. So I will not talk to you. Then Swami very lovingly looked at me and told me to sit at the sofa beside him. So I sat at the sofa beside him. And I used to carry a photo of Swami every day to school. Swami took out that photo and he asked me, भगवान क्या भगवान इसमें है? मैंने बोला, yes, Swami. Then Swami took that photo and he tore it. And then he said, Swami is in here. And then I took the letter that Swami dictated to the student. And the one thing that I remember recalling from that letter was, this can be the last life of every student of mine, provided that they utilize their time properly. And I got up with this thought. And I just, during that time, I was very connected with Swami, and I felt as if Swami was at my beck and call. So what happened, one interesting episode that happened was during December of my 12th grade. My parents had given me the small phone. We were not allowed to have phones, but I had to handle the student council group. So I was given this small 6-year-old iPhone 4S, which used to keep on crashing. So I had set a very random password, which had no sense whatever. It was just 4 random digits, just so that my sister could not guess what the password was. I set it, and the phone had crashed, and I had just left it. 3 months later, I had some work on the phone. I switched it on again, and I completely forgot the password. And I tried various meaningful combinations. They did not work. And then I realized that I had done a very silly thing. I had kept the password so secure that मैं खुद ही भूल गया था. So before sleeping at night, मैंने बोला, Swami, see, I'm not going to reboot this phone again, indulge in that 3-hour long process. Now you are my friend and you are the God of the universe. So there should be some benefit to this friendship. You come in my dream tonight and you give me this password. So I slept. When I slept, I did not see Swami's form in my dream. I just saw the screen of my phone, the lock screen. One finger came and it tapped four random digits. And when I got up, I clearly remembered those digits. I charged the phone, and sure enough, it opened. So episodes like that. And then as my school was getting over, I had this dream. I wanted to study in St. Stephen's College. I wanted to study philosophy in St. Stephen's College. So I had this whole college experience panned out in my mind. It was very clear to me. I was supposed to be studying philosophy honors in St. Stephen's, doing theater, which I love, and starting up a company at the end of my college journey. So I worked really hard during the last 3 months of my 12th because I wanted to make it to Stephens. The board results came out, and the one subject that I required for getting my cutoff to 97 was English. And English was a subject that I was very good at traditionally. And I did very well in my pre-boards in English as well. But I crashed in my English marks for some inexplicable reason. And the person that I used to make fun of, my friend, my desk partner, I used to make a lot of fun of him for his seeming lack of English prowess. He got about 10 marks more than me, and I was completely beaten and shocked. And I had Swami's. I look at it very ironically now. So it was either Stephens or the backup was Swami's college. I cleared the entrance over there. Now it was Swami's college now, but the day that I got my results, I was very broken, and I slept with this prayer to Swami in my mind. Not even a prayer. I was just basically very, very angry at Swami, and I told him that I gave it everything, and this is what you give me. By this seeming stroke of misfortune, you leave my fate to this misfortune, and you don't give me the reward for my hard work. And I fell asleep with this. I got so this is the vision that I saw at night while I was sleeping. I was the setting was the Hillview Stadium of Prashanti Nilayam, and I was a part of the sports and cultural meet. I was doing the paragliding event. I was descending from my uh, the parachute, and I landed. And Swami called me on the stage, and he gave me this very beautiful smile, and he kept on looking at me intently. He called me on the stage from the ground, and people were clicking photographs, and I was looking at Swami and silently crying. When I woke up, I assumed that maybe I'll get a chance to be a part of one of the stunt items in Swami's college, but maybe the paragliding one. But I never got to do that. I was mainly in the sports meet dramas. But what I now realize was Swami was telling me that he's bringing me down. He was bringing me down in my own eyes so that he could personally raise me. Because the most formative and the best experience of my life was the 3 years that I spent in Swami's college. And it was here that I discovered my life's purpose. It was here that I met people that impacted me the most in the form of my professors, absolutely brilliant and peerless people who could have achieved anything in the outer world, and yet they chose to have small cars and 5-year-old phones and give their lives to Swami, dedicate their lives to Swami. And when I look at such people and the showering of love that they had on me, they were nothing but Swami in my lives, and they gave me purpose at this young age. So a couple of instances in which Swami also showed his presence in college, apart from the amazing journey that he has put me through. And so when I returned from my second year, I was just reminiscing on how I did not want to join, how Swami's college was a backup option for me back in 2018. And within 2 years, Swami had completely transformed me, and I was just thanking Swami for all the opportunities that he gave. I was fond of theater. What happened was, Swami, in my second year, I was selected for the university convocation drama, which Swami had personally directed so many times. And that year, it happened in the Purnachandra Hall, and the room for changing our costumes was just 7-8 feet below Swami's own bedroom. And I was completely. I returned home after my second year, and I was just reminiscing at all the opportunities that Swami gave me, and opportunities that I probably did not even deserve. And this outpouring of love that Swami has shown on me throughout. So I was just feeling a lot of gratitude towards Swami. And then Swami appeared in my dream again that night. What happened was, we were rehearsing. We were having a nightly drama rehearsal session in Kulwant Hall. And I loved those sessions because there were only 10, 12 people, only Swami Samadhi, and the night sky outside. They used to be very beautiful, and used to be practicing for dramas in front of Swami. So we were practicing for one such drama. Swami came. He came from the Yajur Mandir, and we were gossiping and we were sharing laugh. And I invited Swami to join in. Swami said, "You talk." Then, as Swami was leaving, I got up. At that time, we were also having discussions about me taking CAT or whatever, because this is my final year of undergraduation. So maybe start preparing for CAT. So as Swami was leaving, I got up and I told Swami, Swami, maths, because I love subjects like business studies and economics and English and finance and accountancy, but maths is a subject that I'm average at, and I have to work really hard to compete with the IITians and other people who appear for entrances like CAT. So I just got up and said, Swami, maths. And Swami said, maths ka main khayal rakhega. And then Swami said, interview room mein chalo. And I went into the interview room, and Swami was seated on his chair, and Swami said, kya mangta? And I said, Swami, I want only you, Swami. I fell at his feet, and I started crying. I said, Swami, I want only you, Swami. And I felt so much love in this dream. And I got up, and I remember narrating this dream to my mother. And this feeling of love was so much that as I was narrating it to her, I broke down once again. I was so overwhelmed with the love that he gave. One more interesting episode that happened in my college was during my second year. I was very close. So there was this friend that I was probably, he was one of the 3 or 4 people that I was most close to in college. And we returned from Dashera trip to Parthi, and we came back to Brindavan. And I slept, and that night I had a dream. And me and this friend of mine, and this guy was a naughty guy, so called. He used to have a lot of fun. And so this friend of mine, me and him were peeping through Swami's window of Swami's interview room, and we were looking into the interview room. Then this friend, being the mischievous brat that he was, he banged Swami's window, and he bent down to make it look as if I had banged Swami's window. Then Swami looked at me with this very stern gaze, and he said, "College se bahar phek dega." And I said, Swami, maine kya kara? I wanted to say it was this guy, but he was my friend, so I would not rat him out. Then we went into the interview room, and we were pressing Swami's feet, and everything seemed fine. But when I got up, I had this uneasy feeling as to why Swami would scold me in a dream of his. That was the first time that it happened. So I remember calling up my home at night and sharing this dream that I had. And we were trying to draw conclusions. 3 months later, what happened was, we went for sports meet to Parthi. We came back. Within a week or two, this boy's parents were called. The friend of mine who was in this dream with me, this boy's parents were called. And as soon as his parents were called, I did not know for what reason they were called, and they were called very unexpectedly. But I just got reminded of this dream, and I knew that this boy will probably be chucked out of the college. And sure enough, he was. And maybe if Swami had not come in my dream, I would have harbored bitter feelings against the authorities that threw him out. But I just took that in a position of acceptance, because I knew that Swami had already shown this to me 3 months earlier, and this was part of Swami's grand scheme of things. Finally, I would like to end with an experience which is relevant in these times. So back from my 11th grade, back since when I was 16 years old, Swami has taken me through these seemingly challenging times, and he has made me conquer each and every fear of mine, the fear of judgment, the fear of abandonment, the fear of physical sickness. And there was this fear that I had ever since I was a student in Swami's primary school, because I spent my whole childhood in a hostel. I always had this feeling of losing a parent while not uh, uh, losing a parent at a young age. So what happened this December was our family was struck with COVID, and I was very nonchalant about such matters. I do not care much. I was the one who was out throughout the year. I used to roam out without a mask. I used to be with my friends. But what happened was my mother's condition slowly started deteriorating, and it was basically my sister and my father who were taking care of her. And I do not go and do such things as give medicines, and that is not what I am. So while I was praying for her, I was having a seemingly distant role. What happened one night was her condition was really bad. Her fever was really high, and she'd come to the bathroom and she was coughing really badly. And my sister was sleeping beside me, and I just, as she went into a room, I just had this prompting. Till then I had a very distant role to play, but that night I had this prompting to just go in and check on her. So I went in and I checked on her, and I just put the oximeter, and her oxygen was falling from 70s to 60s to the early 50s. And I was just looking at the oximeter, and my heart started beating fast, because I knew that anything below 90 is not good. Below 80 is critical. So as I saw it descending down to the early 50s, I started. I do not panic in such situations, but I started feeling scared. And then my sister, I got up, I got the blanket, I gave her two more blankets because she was shivering really badly, and the oxygen mask had to be turned up to the oxygen cylinder had to be turned up to its full level, and the oxygen levels did not seem to improve. They were in their 60s. And my sister got up in this hassle, and I told her to call my father, and he came up. And then there was a nurse that had come that very day. Steroids were arranged at 3 a.m. in the night. A good Samaritan gave oxygen cylinders for free. So by the morning, my mom was shifted to the ICU. So everything happened in this serendipitous turn of events, and it was as if Swami was working through us. The very fact that I got this prompting to go out and to check in on my mother, to the fact of her being shifted to the hospital within 4 hours. That night, while everyone was very tense and stressed out, I remember my Masi and my sister and everyone being very stressed out. But I was in this complete zone of gratitude to Swami, because I knew that everything that was happening was under his care. And all these events would not have been happening if he was not protecting her and looking after her at every step. So that night I slept with a lot of gratitude and love in my heart towards Swami, and a feeling of complete peace in my mind. There was no stress at all. As I slept, uh, Swami came in my dream once again, and Lord. So we were students seated around Swami, and the introduction was being given by Lord Brahma. So he was this white bearded guy wearing a crown, having three heads, and I knew this is Brahma. So Brahma was giving this introduction that the next speaker is going to be Satya Sai Baba, and he is the true parent of all the beings in this universe. As Swami started his discourse, I remember Swami mentioning that we are all demigods and human beings who have come here again and again, for millions of years, and that Swami has given this opportunity, and that we should grab it and we should not waste it. That Swami was telling that very emphatically. And then Swami looked at me and told me, as if directly addressing this issue of my mother, he said, "Why be afraid of anything when I am in everything?" And I heard this, and I started crying in my dream, and I got up right at this point. And when I woke up, I had a tear in my eye. So that was the experience that I had. And throughout my journey, I've seen that Swami has given me the one thing that Swami has kept reiterating and kept teaching me is that we can choose to live in uh, this construct of our own limiting fears and our desires and our wants, or we can choose to act. Swami is within us, and we can choose to act from a place of love and surrender and identification with him, choosing to serve others. And when we operate from this space, we operate from a space of true joy and creativity. And when we do this, anything and everything is possible for us. So this is what I would like to share. Thank you. Sai Ram.